On this week's episode, we're back from the beach and it's time to get started with renovations. Come along with us as we rip out old nasty carpet, remove approximately 2 billion staples, and light up Clark's life with a special delivery. But first,
we are Whitney, Jonathan, Clark, Annie, and Arlo. We're a family who believes in taking chances and living a life we love. Our hearts have been longing for change, for space, for learning, for adventure, right at home. So what did we do? We sold our home without a permanent place to land. We moved into our sister's basement. We found and purchased the property that we believe will house the hopes and growth of our family for years to come. Join us as we roll up our sleeves to get ready for renovating. Watch us turn a house into a home and acres of grass into a farm. Welcome to Follow the Whisper. We are back from an amazing week at the beach. I'm super happy and super excited to be coming to you live for the first time from our new property, from our very own front yard. It feels so good to be here. We're back at the house for the first time since getting home from the beach. Annie and I picked some raspberries and blueberries. We're gonna make some smoothies. We are just taking a stroll. And when we were out here, Annie saw a monarch flying in our patch. Oh, there's another one down there. Cool, so it looks like we have some monarchs around, so that's exciting. We are ready to get started with demolition. We're probably only a day or two away from that. And we are just excited to watch this place turn into something really special. I can't promise that there isn't going to be a lot of background noise because for one thing, Jonathan is currently inside using either our oscillating saw or our Sawzall right now to do a little bit of work in there. Our neighbors down here also have roosters, and since we have moved into this property, we have also discovered, we think that our house is actually under some sort of air route, so you may hear an airplane from time to time, but this is my life now, and this is my home now, and it feels just really, really good to be here and to be talking to you from here, interruptions and all. We just made a run to the local hardware store. We got some masks, some gloves, some goggles. There's lots and lots of pet dander and dirt in these carpets and floors, and we're gonna start ripping stuff up today, so we wanted to protect our lungs. So we're gonna get started. Since we have been back from the beach, we have been here a lot. We are still living in my sister and brother-in-law's basement, and we plan to do that for the time being, but we have been coming here most evenings. There have been days even at lunchtime when Jonathan is between meetings, when we have kind of just come over at that point and parked ourselves here for the day. Our first priorities have really been focused on the old flooring. Trim off the walls!
There's nails and stuff.
We did it, Arlo! Getting the old carpeting out, getting all of those deteriorated carpet pads out, getting the old linoleum out, and kind of just making way for things to come. The most annoying part, in my opinion, is removing and figuring out what to do with all of the old staples and nails and things like that that are left behind. Removing staples from the subfloor is the most tedious and monotonous job ever, and I do not like it, and it is bringing back memories of our last renovation. There's one pile, there's another pile, and I have approximately 3 million to go in the first room. We have been pleased for the most part to find that the existing subfloors are in pretty good shape. There was a lot of pet damage and a lot of pet odor in the home when we moved in. We are still noticing that smell, so we have been using an ionizer overnight when we're not in the property. It is getting better, but we're gonna have to wait and see how things go as we progress through. When we did the inside tour of the house, you couldn't really see the floors or the carpets very well, but super, super stained, lots and lots of pet hair. So yeah, we are excited to get it out of here.
Here we go.
Day one. I'm pretty picky, honestly, when it comes to smells, and I feel like I pick up on them pretty quickly. I was down on my hands and knees on the subfloor, smelling at different areas where I knew there had been a lot of stains and a lot of odor in the carpet, and I don't feel like I notice it in the subfloor. So I'm hopeful that as we get all of the carpeting out and as we put fresh paint everywhere, that maybe a lot of that smell will dissipate without having to do anything further with the subfloors before laying the new floor.
Back at it, day 2.
It's amazing how having the right tool for the job makes things a lot easier. We used pliers to remove all of the staples during our last renovation, and I felt like that was an annoying and cumbersome process. So today, Sabrina's coming over to help me remove some staples, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna look up and see if they actually have a tool that is meant for staple removal. And sure enough, they do. And let me just tell you that this thing works like butter. So I'm very happy. In addition to those first steps on the inside of the home as far as demolition goes, we obviously did have to do a little bit of thinking when it came to the outside and yard maintenance. We're in a really fortunate position in that even though we did purchase 10 acres, the prior owner had a standing agreement with a local farmer that farmer could use the majority of our acreage for haying. And so a lot of our front yard and then our pasture down here are currently being mowed by a farmer who then pays us for the hay that he is able to use for his own animals. So that feels like a pretty sweet deal for the time being. Once we finish on the inside with renovations and making the house feel like a home, then we're going to take a look outside and figure out how we can best utilize the space for an orchard, for berries, for gardening, for animals, and establishing a farm and a homestead. It helps us to feel like we're not wasting time or resources, if that makes sense. Somebody is able to use our land right now while our focus is inside, and then when we are ready to shift our focus outside, then we will be able to resume ownership and use of those acres as we see fit. And it helps us to be able to start managing our property without it feeling instantly overwhelming. I don't know if you remember from a couple of weeks ago, but in that video, I was sitting in front of our really ancient and non-functional riding mower. So we very quickly had to make some decisions as far as how we were going to take care of the part of the yard here that we do need to manage and maintain for the time being. What we decided, with Clark's help, was that we were gonna do a zero-turn mower. We chose a Hustler, and that was delivered to us this week. Obviously, there's a learning curve because we haven't had a zero-turn mower before. We are somewhat aware of them and familiar with them just because that is what my brother-in-law has at his home. Jonathan and Clark have both used it a little bit there, but everybody's yard is different, and so we are getting to know the ins and outs of our yard here. There are some hills, there are some embankments and things like that, so Jonathan was sliding around a little bit the first time that he was out here. Clark was able to help Jonathan do the perimeter of the pasture because that is a flatter area, and he was over the moon excited about that. Since the zero turn has showed up and it's parked in our garage, if you can't find Clark, usually you just open the garage and there he is sitting on the zero turn, imagining his life in the fast lane on that.
I think they treated it or something because it's right around the corner.
Oh, we can just protect it.
This is a good deal.
You're what?
You love that.
I do.
What? You can take this.
Just as our friends and family were willing to show up for us and put in their muscles and their sweat and their time and energy when we moved into the home, they have been stepping forward again. staple remover number 3. Even with just getting out the old carpeting and some of the linoleum in the house, it is already starting to feel lighter and brighter and just more welcoming inside. I cannot wait to clarify for sure whether or not these walls can come down, because I really think that if we can get that entry wall out and if we can get the wall out between the dining room and the living room, it is just going to feel huge inside and be so inviting. Now, am I going to sulk and pout if those walls are structural and load-bearing and can't come down? I don't think so. I have gone about it from the beginning through the lens of, okay, let's assume that they can't come down so that we are not overly disappointed if they cannot. But of course, if I'm being honest, I would prefer that they're not there, and I am crossing all of my fingers and toes that they can go. Clark and Lily have been friends since they've been babies. Lily is about 6 weeks older than Clark. Clark's taken off the trim, Lily's helping. This may be what a future evening in their household looks like if you give them about 20 years. Stay tuned, because we should be finding out in the next couple of days whether or not those walls can come down, whether or not we can open up that space completely, or whether we will have to adapt our plans a little bit and perhaps only do a partial opening. But I am like so ready to just take a sledgehammer and smash through those walls, and I know the kids are likewise excited.
We've got another little helper here too. How's it going, babe? Annie. Oh, look at that. Hot pink glove too. Got a staple out? Look here. Give me a high five. Nice work. Oh my gosh.
Yes, if you look at our huge to-do list and see how few of those items we have actually checked off, you might not think that I would feel as accomplished as I do. Even if only a few things have been checked off of that list, it feels good to get started. We're just excited. We're excited to make our way through those tasks. We're excited to check them off one by one. We're excited to prove to ourselves again that we can accomplish hard things as a family. Clark and Annie and I are on the 10-minute trek down to the end of the driveway, and it looks like the sky's about ready to unleash. So I think we better hurry up, guys, or else we're gonna get rained on. Trash bins are way down there. Don't need to go to a gym. Just walking up my driveway with the trash bins is gonna be workout enough. Holy cow. I love it. Annie's our trainer. She's saying, pick it up, high knees, woo! All told, the first couple of days of renovation and demolition have really gone about as smoothly as we could hope and expect. I hope that things continue to go well. We are looking forward to moving into the next exciting steps, which, fingers crossed, is hopefully tearing those walls down. So thank you so much, as always, for being here. We are excited to have you be a part of this journey through the ups and downs, through the triumphs and the failures. We thank you for spending your time with us. We thank you for being a part of the Follow the Whisper family, and we will see you next week. Oh no!